So how the hell did so many U.S. corporations become so corrupt? We asked this question of Professor June Carbone, who's a Rabina Chair of Law, Science, and Technology at the University of Minnesota School of Law, and she also happened to have been a trial lawyer for the Department of Justice. She's been in this fight for more than 40 years, and she really knows a thing or two about this. Let's see what she has to say.
So the beginning of my legal career was at George Mason University, and there was a corporate revolution underway. Both large corporations and their theorists on the right were in open rebellion against the era of the corporation man. So the corporation man of the 50s was viewed with approval. The whole was more than the sum of the parts. The bragging rights were, my company is bigger than your company. My company is more prestigious because it has Bell Labs, a cutting-edge research institute. But not my bonus is bigger than your bonus. In that era, the idea was the CEO as steward, responsible for looking out for employees, customers, shareholders. The company meant something. Fast forward, it's 1980. Jack Welch becomes CEO General Electric with a mandate to break through the bureaucracy. What does he do? He sounds a whole lot like Elon Musk. So the first thing he does is fire the first few years, something like 25% of all employees. He sells off whole divisions. He cuts costs ruthlessly. And he does it by getting rid of things like the plastic slab, the cutting-edge plastic slab, where he started at GE. It doesn't pay off within a few months. Get rid of it. Divisions that could turn a profit with more investment in a few years, sell them off instead. What does he invest in? Finance. Finance turns an immediate profit. And when you then look at what he does, he pits people against each other. He adopts a rank-and-yank evaluation system. Rate all employees every quarter against each other. Why does he do that? Well, he talks about differentiation. The top group are going to get bonuses tied to stock options. He prides himself on not looking too closely at how they accomplish the ends, so long as they meet their numbers. But what are the numbers? The numbers are our quarterly earnings. So what Jack Welch is really famous for is he was CEO for 20 years. In those 20 years, earnings went up several 100%, but share price went up 4,000%. Because if you beat earnings estimates, share price goes up. So this entire system was designed to boost earnings reports by any means necessary. And that allows the CEO to come in, take control of a large bureaucratic organization, get immediate results measured by short-term reductionist metrics, keep everybody insecure, and end loyalty to your employees. Now, if you think of that, that's the system. That's the system that made Jack Welch famous. That's the system that swept corporate America. It has the following kinds of results. First, CEO pay goes way up. In the 50s, CEOs made about 20 times what the average worker made. By the time you get to 2020, they're making roughly 300 or more times what the average worker makes. The CEO, in Alan Greenspan's words, admiringly, becomes a dictator. When I describe how Jack Welch reaches down into the ranks, he's not hiring the best qualified people in any conventional sense. He's hiring somebody who will do whatever he wants. Sam Walton did the same thing. Walmart had a policy of never paying overtime, but it was also chronically understaffed. Walmart is number one in the country in wage theft. That is, in wages and hours violations, things like not paying overtime. And the whole point was to squeeze labor costs, to squeeze employees without management fingerprints being on the system. Companies are personalized fiefdoms. They're no longer institutions that are more than the sum of their parts. They are the CEO's private play toy. And the people who get rich use them to get really, really rich. And yes, this is corruption. And I want to emphasize that system. The CEO walks out the door with his bonuses. Now, he loses if the company fails, but he's already so much richer than he would have been without manipulating the metrics that made him really, really rich. The market may correct, but it may not correct in time to save the company, to save the employees. But they don't care about the long term. They care about what they can extract from a company today. They sell what remains to somebody else, but they still make money. What does Musk want to do? He wants to own the electric vehicle market. He does it by emphasizing beating production numbers. That's the goal. Musk gives all these press conferences where he announces these incredibly ambitious production estimates. And when he beats them, when he produces more cars than Wall Street was expecting him to produce, that's when he became the richest man in the world. And how did he do it? Well, as I said, he's ruthless. He drove workers incredibly hard. And he admitted he paid no attention to quality control. Ever by the first production run of Tesla, by the second or third one, we've corrected the defects. There are all these management books on the sociopath in the corner office, the selection for narcissism, and the qualities linked to audacity that produce this. You know, the thing about people who are incredibly arrogant, filled with narcissism and hubris, is they don't listen. And they're not as smart as they think they are, especially when they move from something they know something about, Tesla, to running the government. Elon Musk knows nothing about this, either for that matter does Donald Trump. And they've got rid of the people from the first Trump administration who did know enough not to create a major disaster. This is not so different from what happened with the rise of the Gilded Age, the robber barons, followed by the titans of finance who brought you the Great Depression. And what Trump and Musk are doing is destroying the guardrails. When the U.S. emerged from World War II in 1945, it was 90% marginal tax rates, CEO salaries that were 20 times average worker pay, not 300 or 400 times. An active regulatory core that had, the unions. We went 50 years as a result of medial regulation without a financial crisis, without a fraud-fueled financial crisis. That's gone. And now we have financial crises that are back. We have fraud, white-collar, pervasive white-collar fraud of a kind that produced the Great Depression. Next time, there's not going to be anybody there with the ability to prevent a global depression. And I hope it's a global depression and not a world war. But when it comes, and it will come inevitably, if the current course is maintained, then there will be the opportunity to cap the power of the wealthy and reclaim a new name. We're going to call it the rule of law instead of bureaucracy. But the rule of law is about administering law on behalf of the people as a whole, instead of wiring it to benefit only the fat cat.